Hey guys, welcome back to Crypto Scene Investigation, where we look at whether or not projects are worth investing or not, and we try to look at it from an objective point of view, and we don't just be like, hey, let's invest because people tell us to invest. Little disclaimer, this is not to be considered as financial advice. It should only be considered for inspirational, educational, and entertainment purposes. Yes, if this is your first time here, consider liking and subscribing. Now, today's coin, crypto.com/crow. So there's been a lot of talk about this coin recently. So let's actually have a look at what it says according to CoinMarketCap. All right, so this is over its full time. So I think I did hear something about it was only properly released maybe in like 2020 or something, or maybe even sometime this year. As we can see, it's done and made a huge pump. Now, one of those reasons, or why I think it caused that, is because they went and had that few $1 million worth of a sponsorship with that stadium, and then suddenly we're sort of back to the normal. We're back to the kind of chill zone. I mean, pretty much the whole market's going like this at the moment, right? So there's not really much which we can do. So let's have a look at what exactly is Crow. Let's find that out. So crypto.com, coin Crow is the native cryptocurrency token. Keep that in mind. Remember that for a moment. Of crypto.com chain, a decentralized open source blockchain developed by crypto.com payment, trading, and financial services company. Here is what is interesting, and here is what when I read that, I was like, is that actually fully true? So I went down and I looked down here somewhere, and actually, if we say, so how is the crypto.com coin network secured? Crow is built on top of Ethereum's blockchain, according to the ERC20 compatibility standard, which means that its network is secured by the Ethash function. Now, here's what kind of sussed me out behind that, right? So, I personally find it a bit, I don't know if this is just maybe naivety, but I personally find it a little bit misleading when I'm looking at something which says a decentralized open source blockchain developed by Crypto.com, and then we find out that, wait, hang on, Crow is built on top of Ethereum's blockchain. Now, according to a guy from Coin Bureau, his video was actually talking about saying that when it comes to actually investing in coins, one thing you need to watch out for is the word token, because a token and a coin is different. Token generally implies or is generally built on top of an already existing blockchain network, whereas a coin is usually something which is specifically for that blockchain. So to be honest, I find that misleading. So I don't like that. Like, I don't like being misled. So I have problems with that, but we continue looking, okay? So we don't just look at one source, we look at multiple. So what does BSC check tell us? Total supply holders. Actually, let's have a look at their wallets first. Let's have a look at their wallets and see what we can find out. 76%. Do not know what that is. So dead wallet. Okay, so this was so to let you know what this is, because I do know what this is. So I think it was about 70 billion? 70 million. 70%, because they had a total supply originally of 100 billion tokens. However, they went and burned 70% of it, which essentially makes this a deflationary token, right? If you don't know what that is, check it out. Yeah, so as we can see, it doesn't look like there's any huge kind of holders when it comes to this, right? It doesn't look like there's any huge threats when it comes to the holders, right? So it doesn't look like there's anything which is really kind of like sticking out as, oh my gosh, this is scary. So yeah, I think that is okay. So to me, this is not a rug pull in any sort of the word from what I've seen, judging by that. And we'll continue going through the facts to find out why I also think that as well. So. BSC check. I haven't seen anything which really kind of stands out to me as being threatening. I mean, all of these numbers are good. Like, all of these numbers are fantastic. This is essentially what coins should be, or what tokens or coins should be trying to look like. This is good. This is great in my opinion. Like, wonderful, wonderful work. You don't have anybody who has a massive amount. Now, for some reason, Token Sniffer again has sort of seen a little bit of hesitation with this sort of thing. So let's have a read of some of the negatives to find out what we can find out. Ownership renounced, or source does not contain an owner contract. Still don't quite know what that means, but for some reason it's a red X, so we'll keep on finding. At least 95% of liquidity burned/locked. Not enough liquidity is locked/burned, which could allow for significant amounts to be removed. Rug pull. Now, personally, I don't think that they have the dominance to be able to pull a rug pull. Even though this says that they may be able to do it here, I don't think they have enough of that because of this huge burn which they have already had. I mean, the max supply currently is 30 billion, right? And what do we currently have in circulating supply? We have 25 billion. So, and from what I understand, according to their tokenomics and everything, is that I think it is gradually they will actually be burning more and more. So there's I think there's an extra which they'll be doing. I'm not entirely sure how that sort of side of things works. Sorry. Yeah, so create a wallet. So almost everything else looks good. I don't feel scared by that. I don't feel threatened by that. Crypto.com. There is. Let's see if there's anything in maybe the last week. Sorry guys, it sounds like one of my doors keeps on closing. So let's see if there's anything in the kind of last week which we can see which sort of stands out. Please see the average cost of cryptos we have pitched. So a lot of people, I mean, this guy bought $20 worth of an NFT, and he sold it for $1,500. You know, I mean, yeah, that is pretty massive. So if we have a look at the influx, I mean, we're only a few thousands, then boom, and now we're up to the hundreds of thousands, right? That's huge, right? That's a big time, fam. Comments per day. So it seems like the community is still quite active, still around about maybe, probably judging by the looks of this, maybe 2,000 something per day. Which, as I say, to me that is, oh my gosh, I don't know how to use this. To me that still says that it is good. To me that doesn't say anything which screams bad, right? Okay, and posts per day. So yeah, I mean, as we can see, it had that huge influx, which would have been a part of the, people trying to figure out what the heck, how did this explode so heavily? Yeah, and then back down again. So yeah, so and that sort of jazz. So let's continue. Now these guys have got a huge following on here. Keep in mind, Crypto.com is I think I don't know if they're primarily an exchange, but they are an exchange. To me personally, there are better exchanges than Crypto.com. But from what I hear, the staking rewards from Crypto.com can be good as well. Yeah, so the last 30 days, so that probably would have been since November, right? So as we can see, about 249,000. So let's actually see how those numbers have changed, right? So today we have had, so we can see it's quite equally just been going over the few thousands this December. So actually, that's quite decent. So this would have been the last 2 weeks, right? So just a few thousand each day, which that's okay. That's a good time, man. There's nothing bad I see within that. Let's actually have a look. See if we can, go and spot some bot comments, because, we want to make sure that we aren't just being led on by a bunch of bot people, right? Bot people. That sounds funny. So let's just choose a bunch of Randy's hamster coin. What the heck? Safe Moon, so it's just a random person. Cool. Old account suspended. Cool. Yep, that's fine. Hot Moon, don't know what those are. So it doesn't look like, so none of these guys are really trying to shill any particular coins, except for maybe this guy talking about his little hamster coin. Yavu's Tosun, thank you. All right, so let's have a look at the trends. So what does Google Trends tell us? As we see, November, the huge pump, right? But right now, we haven't gained a lot of traction recently. So we haven't seen a huge amount when it actually comes to that. Let's actually type in Crow, and let's see if Crow kind of helps us. So as we can see, look at that, similar thing. Not a whole lot of research on it. So that's fine. I don't think this should put you off from investing into this, in my personal opinion. Yes. So this is their website. Their website is sleek. Their website is slick, man. Like, this is clean. This just looks good. Like, it doesn't look like a badly developed site. Like we can see what we can see. I can't find, so if we have a look here, I couldn't find anything regarding the actual tokenomics of the project. That's a bit annoying to me, because as you know, tokenomics is such a big deal when investing into any of these things, right? So that, I wasn't too happy with that, to be honest. Wasn't too happy, but have a look. So these are some of their partners, right? And now, you guys should know by my other videos by now that I don't just go and promote every good thing about projects, right? I try to take an objective point of view. In fact, if anything, I'm probably more negative, which is why I don't really have as many subscribers or likes, because they're like, oh man, this guy, who does he think he is, talking badly about a project which I like. Yeah, so our partners reaching the next billion users with the world's best partners. So let's have a look. I mean, you may recognize some of these names. UFC, I recognize that. Twitch Rivals. Aston Martin, for goodness sake. Formula One team. Like, I mean, I don't really know any of these others. I don't know who this is. Canadians don't know that. I think that's Atari, isn't it? Is it? No. But I did see something regarding Atari. So Crypto.com Arena. Like, that is a big deal, man. That is a big deal. And so they have all this sort of jazz, man. I thought that they had Atari under their name. Maybe they didn't. Yeah. Unless we can find out tokenomics under here. I haven't seen, as I say, anything with this DeFi wallet. It's probably just going to be like a sort of buy and sell. I have also heard some decent things about the Visa card. Yeah, and so you can earn interest and stuff. So I believe that'll probably be by staking. The About Us section. Now, these guys, their stats are impressive, dude. So I was looking at the CEO and the co-founder / CFO, and I was also these guys aren't just your run-of-the-mill these guys are actually dudes who they've got a decent amount of experience under their belts. Like Crypto.com CEO Insurgo, co-founder and CEO, co-founder CEO. You've COO. Let's have a look at this guy. Same thing. Insurgo, mobile payment solution, MasterCard, business finance office, CFO equivalent. It's big, man. These guys are not foolish. Now, with that being said, does that mean that they can probably manipulate the market in a certain way? I think that these guys, without sounding too weird, they may have a bit too much power. Because they might know so much that actually they could probably end up doing some sort of bad pulls. But with that being said, because they have such a great amount of experience behind them, I think we should naturally be able to trust their points of view. I mean, like this guy, extensive experience in investment banking, corporate development, investor relationship, and named Forbes Asia's under 30 leader in 2018, and he's the head of it, dude. I don't know, just these guys have had incredibly impressive resumes, incredibly impressive backgrounds. So honestly, I think, yeah. So in terms of whether or not this will be a good long-term project to invest in, because that's essentially what we want to know, right? I did try to find some sort of the latest news on what they were doing. Couldn't find much. I sort of just found maybe like a few little bits here and there. Voyager Digital, FTX, and other crypto firms leverage sports naming rights to accelerate brand awareness. I mean, it's good, but to me, it's not enough for me to be like, this is going to be great. But here's something which we should keep in mind. If Crow does go down, right? If Crow does go down, and it drops below, I mean, where are we at now? So we're at 0.5. I mean, probably our support line, I'd say, is probably somewhere around, so probably around that sort of 0.55 kind of mark. So if you did want to invest now, I don't think that would be a bad investment. I think that this does have room to grow from here. But in terms of the things here is one of my personal problems with Crow, and why I personally don't want to invest in Crow. Even though this does have potential to make it big, the reason why I personally wouldn't invest in Crow is because I don't see enough use cases for it. I don't see enough use cases for it. I can't look at Crow and be like, man, I love the projects they're working on, because I barely know what they're working on. They've gone and got a stadium. It's impressive, but now what? Like, I mean, are you just gonna like sponsor sports teams and maybe like some like the other marketing related things? So it does feel as though these guys are more based along marketing, so kind of like social media and marketing, more than actual more than anything else, right? So more than, let's say, more than NFTs or gameplay, or like being able to resolve certain things within the DeFi community. Yeah, so that's sort of my own personal opinion for why I haven't chosen to invest in these guys myself. But I would say that if you wanted to invest into them, especially during this kind of like bleak time, yeah. So, by the way, when I say bleak time, do not at all mean it's going to be a bear market. Yeah. So I would probably say you can invest in it. And I don't really think it's going to drop below 55 unless we go into a bear market. I think that you will likely get some gains, but with that being said, will you get more gains than other lower cap coins? Because have a look, 14 billion, a market cap of 14 billion, man. I don't think you're gonna be getting like that much of a huge gain, unless of course they just have something which they haven't released yet. If they have something which is going to impress everybody and overwhelm everybody. But I can't see anything personally. I can't see anything which really says to me, this is going to be the next biggest thing, right? This is going to be the next biggest and greatest thing. But there are some people who do believe that it's probably going to 20x. I think Max Mayer might have actually done a video recently about that, if it was Max Mayer or somebody else. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Please do consider liking and subscribing, because that would be really awesome, and turn the notifications on, because yeah, I definitely want to start like a full-on community from this. Also, I have a Patreon, so please consider joining that. That will be in the description. Yeah, and anyway, stay good, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.